Coming up in this week's show, we go in search of a fuel-efficient vehicle with plenty of space for a first-time buyer.
Bakkies from Isuzu, Ford and Volkswagen come under the spotlight.
And we advise the viewer on whether or not he should keep or flog his Mercedes-Benz C200.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide. We'll be tackling a fresh batch of your vehicle-related questions and queries once again. And here to help us this week, Achaya Finger from Car Chic and Bongani, who also goes by Mr. How Much. How much? Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, remember, if you like the panel's advice, you can send us an email to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za, and you can pop us a DM on Instagram @ignitiontv. And please give us as much information as possible, including a pretty picture of yourself. Okay, we're going to kick off things with a question from Kiger, a 43-year-old first-time buyer, and he's looking for a reliable car with enough space for the daily drive. She has a budget of 6,000 Rand a month, including insurance, and is considering the following cars: Renault Clio, Suzuki Baleno, and the Renault Kiger. Fuel efficiency are top priority for her. So I'm going to start off with the ladies here.
So a first-time buyer, when I was reading this question, people must understand first-time buyer, first-time driver are two different things.
Yes.
Because insurance will have an impact. If you're a first-time driver and you've just got your license, your insurance is going to be high. Yes. So you have to do your homework in that regard, because her budget's 6,000, but you might find an insurance premium that's very high because they say, how long have you been driving for? Well, I got my license last month.
Yes.
It's going to be,
It's going to impact.
It's going to impact. So first-time buyer, first-time driver, two different things. That's the first thing. I'm going to go with the Suzuki because I like Suzuki. I prefer it to Renault. That's a personal choice.
Well, it's the right choice.
It's the right choice. This is the right choice.
Also, space. I'm not sure enough space. What is? It's all relative. What sort of space is it? Just you traveling? Are you traveling with kids? Do you have to put stuff in the boot? My choice is the Suzuki, the right choice. And also just check out that insurance. Do a bit of homework. Ask around. Get some quotes. That's my take.
Yes, I'm with all of you on this one. She said reliable, fuel efficient, cheap to maintain, Suzuki Baleno.
Yeah.
First-time car buyer, I'll assume it's a first car. So just for ease on the road, automatic Baleno, she can get one for 250. She doesn't have to worry about traffic or starting.
And that will fit in the budget anyway.
Yes.
She's most probably going to spend around about 1,000 Rand a month of insurance roughly.
Yeah.
And we're assuming then that she's an old driver. She's got a license a while ago.
First-time buyer, not
first-time
driver.
Your premium is going to be the same price or more than your monthly installment.
So a very important thing what Kai's brought up there is that you really need to, when you go and buy the vehicle, before you sign any documentation, speak to the insurance companies and say, I'm thinking of buying a whatever car it is, doesn't really matter what car it is. And then they'll ask you all the details and everything and say, I just want a price on what the car is going to be. And phone a bunch of insurance companies. Just don't phone the first one. You'll get different premiums from different companies and then see which will offer you the best insurance for your vehicle.
I've also noticed that people leave it to the last day. So they have to go fetch their car. And then the dealership will say, well, where's your proof of insurance? If you're under that sort of pressure and that sort of excitement, you're not going to do... chances are you're going to make a rash decision.
Super advice.
So yeah, I've seen it all the time. So just do your homework. Rather start with that actually, and then work backwards.
I mean, you've taken advantage of people that came in.
Me?
Or, go to Kai's site, Car Chic.
Yes.
Give her
And
a
ask her
shout.
for some
She'll help
info,
you.
and I will help you.
I'll help you.
She'll help you. She'll find you a car, buy you a car, get you insurance, do everything for you, keep the car. And
Buy you a car. I'm going to that site now. Our next viewer is Sanele, the owner of a Nissan Almera. He has been looking at buying a car within his monthly budget of 5,000 Rand. His options include the Mazda 3, Stina, and the Opel Astra 1.6. Are there any issues he should look out for when purchasing any one of these cars? Sanele is leaning towards the Mazda because he worries about the turbocharger in the Opel. I don't know what Sanele really wants. He wants power, but he doesn't want a car with a turbocharger.
Bongani, your feelings?
Well, this one is an easy one for me. I found a 2019 Mazda 3 Astina. He wants power, 121 kilowatts, 250,000 Rand. The mileage is around 110, but they're bulletproof. They'll go forever.
It's a Mazda.
Yes, it's a Mazda.
It's a Mazda.
Agreed,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a much better car than the Opel. And it'll be a lot cheaper to run, a lot more fuel efficient. It may not be as powerful because it's not turbocharged, but quite rightly saying an older car, you're going to have those issues. If a turbocharger fails, it's an expensive problem.
I'm on the same page with the Mazda. Also, Opel, it's a limited dealer network. Sourcing parts may be an issue. It's a no-brainer, the Mazda, hands down.
Mazda, a better looking car, more reliable. I think it's more fuel efficient.
Yes.
It's better inside. It's a better car. Don't even look at the Opel. I'm
Big
sorry.
dealership footprint.
Yes.
Well, you know, Mazda and Opel also, Mazda doesn't have, it's got more dealers than, but it's a much better car.
Yeah.
And it's a car that you can buy, if you're kind of person that wants to keep a car for like 10 years, you can do that. With the Opel, you can keep it for 10 years, but most of the time it's going to be stuck somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, but he's not into slow cars like the Almera, so.
Yeah.
But he owns one.
If you got an Almera, it's going to be a massive move up.
Anything he drives after that is a massive move up.
Yeah, even a Toyota Taz. All right, stay tuned, because after the break, Bakkies from Isuzu, Ford and Volkswagen, they come under the spotlight.
And we find a suitable 7-seater for a family of 6. You're watching Buyer's Guide, and if you just joined us, welcome to this week's show. Manik is the proud owner of his second Subaru Outback 3.6R with almost 200,000 kilometers on the clock. He promised his kids he will buy a bakkie before he purchases another Subaru. Kids can be so annoying. He now wants to know which 4x4 double cab bakkie is as reliable as his Subaru. He's considering the following options: Isuzu, Ford Ranger, VW Amarok. He's wondering if he can achieve 200,000 kilometers on the Amarok, or must he opt for the 3-liter V6, or alternatively look at something else. That's the option. He's not open to the Hilux because of its theft risk, nor the Mitsubishi Triton because it looks like Adam.
Good looking vehicle, that one. Yeah. All right, Bongani.
Bongani?
Okay, he didn't give us like a price range, but if he wants a V6 Amarok, I'm guessing budget is not a problem because those are around R1 million.
Well, I think he's talking about most probably
Second hand.
Second hand, okay.
Yeah.
He's used to a Subaru, he's used to Japanese cars. He says he wants it to run for the next 200,000 kilometers. So I would put him in a brand new Isuzu D-Max 3-liter V-Cross. He'll drive it forever. You won't have any issues.
But even if he's looking at second hand, he can look at our Isuzu Bakkies, the older ones, because they are very good vehicles. Like the Mitsubishi Triton in terms of its looks. But Kaya, what do you think?
I agree, the Isuzu. Yeah. I would stay clear of the Amarok. Although it's quite a luxurious bakkie, it's going to be expensive to maintain, and he wants to keep it for quite some time. So I'm on the same page. Isuzu, definitely. Amarok, no.
I can respect the Isuzu for what it offers. But I love the Ford Rangers because the Rangers are up to date with their technology inside, even the previous generation, and you've got a massive choice from. They are good bakkies, they're really nice to drive, they're spacious, they're comfortable, they drive more like a car.
And it's your family company, you have to say that.
Well, of course, and they're 100 years old now, so they're nearly as old as me. So I would go for I would look at a Ranger, something like a 2.2 or 3.2 Ranger if you're looking for second hand. If you're looking for the new one is really, really, really good. A 3-liter V6 new Ranger is superb. The Amarok as well is not too bad, but I agree with Chaya in terms of maintenance costs and that. The Isuzu to me is more like, it's a workhorse. You get in, you chuck your gunk in it, you drive it. It is a good, reliable vehicle, but it's boring, it's bland. But it's great.
You know,
but if you want something nice to drive, the Ranger for me is the best of the bunch. Yeah.
He's listening to his kids, all right. But with the Subaru Outback 3.6, he had all that power and things.
Yeah.
So if he's going to a bakkie, a 4x4 double cab, how about the P series?
Well, that is another option to throw in there. Yeah, it's actually quite a good option because in terms of value for money.
Value for money.
You know, you're getting a 2-liter turbo diesel. It's a great car. It's got lots of features with it. It's a big bakkie. It certainly is something, if you're in the market for a new double cab bakkie, to go and have a look at. Yeah. You know, it's not everybody's cup of tea.
And take his kids with him, because if you put your kids in the back of the, in the second section, in the double cab section, you don't really hear them because that's how big it is inside.
If you get a canopy, you can close them in the back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the choices, and I quite like that GWM P-Series as an option, purely because of the value for money option. Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on now. Jason currently owns a 2017 Ford EcoSport 1.5 petrol with 90,000 Ks on the clock, and a 2011 VW Polo. It's got 165,000 Ks on it. He has 4 kids under the age of 10, and he's considering buying a 7-seater that is safe, is fuel efficient, of course, and has a good service plan. He's looking at spending about 5,000 Rand a month, and has the following cars in mind: the Suzuki XL6, Hyundai Grand Creta. He doesn't want a Toyota Fortuner or vehicles that are used for e-hailing services. Okay, so my concern initially would be his budget of 5,000. Is it going to get himself the Suzuki XL6? Because I'm trying to remember, I think it's around, anybody remember the pricing on it?
Yes, as Mr. How Much, I do.
Yes, Mr. How much?
So the XL6 is fairly new. They
Yes.
launched it recently. So brand new, it's around 336,000.
Yeah.
There are a couple of demo models, but they're 310, and it still falls out of his budget. So
Yeah, because that would give him a price of around about 6 grand a month.
grand, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe he could have a look at the Suzuki Ertiga.
Yes.
You can find them from around 240, and it should fall within his price range.
See, now that's a good option because you probably could get in 4 car seats for the kids.
For the kids,
He's got 4 kids under the age of 10.
Maybe he didn't have DSTV before.
Yes, I'm sure. He should have spent some money on PSTV.
Yeah.
You know, he's got 4 kids under the age of 10.
Yeah.
So you're putting him in a Hyundai Creta and things like that.
Well, you get the 7-seater Creta, the Grand Creta, but again, I think it's going to be out of his
I
budget.
don't think,
Yeah.
and I don't think you're going to put 4 car seats in there.
Yeah.
In any vehicle, 2 car seats, proper car seats, take up the entire back seat.
His kids are under 10, so I mean, maybe the 10-year-olds and things like that aren't
Put him
going
in the boot.
Yeah, that's true. But the Ertiga, certainly, and
Ertiga is a good option.
one other option to throw in there as well is the Honda BRV.
Yeah, that was my
Kaya,
choice.
you tell us.
I also have the Honda BRV. I think it's a great 7-seater. I'm curious about, he tells us about the 2 cars he currently has. Is he buying a 3rd car or is he trading one in? Because if he was trading one in, then that 5,000 Rand changes, right? Because maybe he has some deposit money. So I think like he must look into that. Are you going to trade one in? I would actually.
Yeah.
Honda BRV, 7-seater.
If you, and you've made a very good point again, if you're going to trade something in, one of these other vehicles, you may be able to then push it to that new Suzuki XL6.
Yes.
Because then you're getting a brand new vehicle, and if that then fits into your budget. So we're not sure exactly if you're keeping those other vehicles or you're trading them in. If you're trading them in, like Morgani said, it was 340 grand roughly.
Yeah.
And let's say you're going to get 100,000 Rand for one of your other cars. That brings it down to your monthly budget. You can
Yes.
spend that 5 grand a month, which would be a superb option because it is another Suzuki that's come in,
And
hit the target
hit
right,
the target
spot on,
market. Yes.
pricing
done,
right,
Suzuki.
vehicle right for
done,
that segment.
Suzuki.
So it's really good.
When do you think Suzuki is going to send us our check?
Yeah.
We'll be taking a short break, but when we return, we advise a viewer on whether he should keep or flog his trusty Mercedes-Benz C200.
And we examine the long-term reliability of a Ford Ikon. Okay, welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Our next question comes from Logan. He's 68 years old, a retiree who hails from Durban, and he's the proud owner of a 2010 Mercedes-Benz C200 Auto Elegance Blue Efficiency. It's only got just over 100,000 Ks on it. He bought the vehicle second-hand in 2014 with an odometer reading of 48,000 Ks. He's also had the timing chain replaced in 2022. He travels a distance of about 160 Ks a month, which is really nothing. Logan wants to know the following. Should he keep or sell the vehicle? If so, if he wants to sell it, what should he opt for? There's available cash of 150,000 Rand in addition to what he'd get in the trade-in value. Higher, Mercedes-Benz.
Well, he's doing on average 5 kilometers a day. I walk more
Well, he's
than
going-
I walk further than he drives. So
He's going to get milk and bread.
yeah, so Logan, keep your car.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a, it's such a low mileage. Actually, if you want to sell it to me because the mileage is great.
And the car's only worth about 50K.
Yeah, keep your car. What are you going to trade it in for? You know, you're driving a Mercedes. Whatever you're going to get, you're going to miss your Merc.
It's most probably worth in the region of about 120 grand.
Yeah,
That's the car.
and yeah, I would keep the car. It's done such low mileage for. He barely uses it.
He did say in his mail it's given him no trouble besides the timing chain is one of the common issues
Yeah.
with it. But that's been sorted.
Yeah, keep.
Bogani.
Yeah, I'm with her on this one. I think you should keep the car. I mean, if someone came to me and said, do you want to keep your 150,000 Rand? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
So he keeps his money. He barely drives. The car is doing well. Yeah,
And if anything goes wrong with the Merc, he's got 150K.
exactly.
If he's going to spend that 150K on something that he's never going to enjoy, if you come out of a Merc,
Yeah.
You're never going to get into anything.
Well, let's say it took his 120 approximately for his car as a trade-in.
This makes it 270.
270. Let's call it 300,000.
Put him in a Suzuki.
Yeah, you can go and buy yourself a Baleno.
Brand new Baleno or something.
No,
No,
just
keep your car.
this car. As Segi quite rightly says, you've got a little lump sum there that you can invest that, get some returns from that, pays for your maintenance of the car. If you said you're doing 25,000 Ks a month, we'd say maybe it is time for a new car because the mileage is high. But it's a nice car to drive, it's safe, it's reliable.
Our last question comes from Sammy, who recently bought a neat 2014 Ford Ikon 1.6 Duratec with 155,000 kilometers on the clock. He drives the car daily and intends on keeping the car for a few years as it drives smoothly and has a quiet engine. He wants to know if there are any inherent problems with these vehicles and what should he do to increase the longevity of the vehicle. Chaya, you had a whole lot to say about this.
I love that Sammy asked after the fact that he's bought the car. Rather ask before you bought. Now, what happens if we said yes? It's terrible.
Worst car you can ever buy.
Tell me what you're going to do. So, funny enough, it's not. So, made the right decision. You're lucky. You're safe, yeah? Just service the car regularly, look after it, maintain it. You know, cars, if you don't maintain a car, it could be the best car, it's still going to give you problems. So, maintain your car. But, Sammy, thanks for asking. After you bought the car, you're good, though. You're safe.
Yeah. Mogani?
So years ago, back when I was in high school, one of my neighbors had a Ford Ikon. They still have a Ford Ikon. So it's actually a
that was
great
only
car.
like a year ago.
That was a year ago, it's just a couple of years ago.
But yeah, it's a great car. It don't give him problems, easy to maintain. He made a good choice. Common problems, I hand that over to you guys. You would know better,
as long as he has that cam belt replaced at its normal...
It's every 100,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
And that's about the biggest thing that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a normal service and maintenance and brake pads and things, which is on any car. You'll have that on any motor vehicle.
The nice thing about the Ford Ikon is it's inherently a good, reliable car. The engines are extremely good, they are reliable, and they're simple. They're not complex, they don't have any sophisticated fuel injection systems with turbochargers and all the nonsense that goes with it. It's so, even your neighbor can fix it.
No, I think that's better.
No, well, the neighbor's here. Where's the neighbor?
No, Adam. No. Slowly now.
Anybody.
Gently.
You can go on YouTube and learn how to fix it. It's simple. It's easy.
Yeah, you're saying it's a basic car.
It's
not
basic.
Much can go wrong with it.
It's not like the kind of car that you got us, I've got an M4. I need to send it to a specialist.
Which one?
Which
which
GWM, BMW M4. Something fancy that's got to go to somebody who really has. It doesn't really need diagnostic equipment. It's Ford's Toyota Taz.
Yeah.
Ford's Corolla. It was a great car, and as Chaya said, you bought the right car. Okay, guys. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of another fantastic episode. Chaya, Bongani, once again, thank you for joining us and giving us your invaluable advice, and our viewers are, I'm sure, very happy for that. Thank you very much. Pleasure to have you guys here.
Anytime.
Until next time, remember to keep left, pass right, and please, guys, keep it safe on the roads.